Alright, hi, I'm Kemon, this is Fabian and Nick, representing the Axoloti. Woo! Alright.
Okay, so a little bit of the origin. So the Axoloti was created by Johannes Tellman in 2013, or spring of 2013, and it actually ended in August of 2015 when it became available for purchase. However, it didn't actually end in August 2015. He ended it also in fall of 2013. He just didn't have proper funding. Not until he launched a crowdfunding campaign in 301c3 in December of 2014. He then had proper funding, and then it was available for purchase after that, a couple months after. So the Axoloti is actually two parts. You have the Axoloti core, which, as you see the pictures here, and we have it right up there. It's pretty small. The Axoloti core is a circuit board, and it's a circuit board with stereo audio in and outputs. It has digital to analog converters and analog to digital converters. It's suitable for digital audio processing and processing in general. And all the connectors are on one side to make it easy for like a tabletop device or any. Some people like to do some customization since it's all on one side. You know, just depends on you. The second part of the Axoloti is the patcher. The patcher is the software part of the Axoloti. It is a workbench that you use to compose your music or anything you're trying to really do in the Axoloti. As you can see, it's very similar to Macs, right? You have the cables that connect it from one function to another. You have a filter up here, an oscillator, which is a sine wave, the envelope, an ADSR, and similar stuff like that. You know, it just depends on what you're trying to do. And yeah.
All right, so to talk about some of the strengths of the Axoloti, you can see in the picture, like down there, it's only 65 euros, which converts to only like American dollars. It's only about $72. Not like the crazy 800 or other high amounts of money we had before. So because it's so cheap, it'll be an easy investment and a great purchase to make for Stetson, especially if you want to think about capstone projects. If you want to buy a couple of these once they like come available, then it's just easy since it's only so much money, $72. Another strength is that it comes with its own software, the patcher, like you just discussed before. It is free. It comes with the Axoloti. Basically, it can be used to compose and edit your sound algorithms and interactions. And with that same software, you can develop different digital audio processes like modulators, oscillators, filters, effects, as well as LFOs, modulations, and envelopes. So basically, you just do a lot with just this one software that comes with it. Another thing is because the way the Axoloti is built, like the hardware, it can connect both physically and electronically as a controller, or just like additional hardware with the Euro rack or the Synthi. So basically that's another strength about it. And a lot of the tutorials and examples can be found on the Axoloti website, so if you're ever confused or need help, they give you examples and stuff to help you out if you need that. And here we go. But the weaknesses though, I think also is the patcher. It's very similar to like Max or MSP Jitter. But like if you have a big programming project you're trying to do and you look at this, I'm not gonna lie, that would make me want to cry and not want to do it. Because it is a lot, but I feel like once you get used to it, it'll be easy for you depending on how much experience you have. But it's just a lot depending on like how much programming you want to do or what type of software effect you're trying to make. Another just small weaknesses is that when downloading it, we had a little bit of issues like troubleshooting and whatnot, but it's probably just small things like that. Just wanted to make you aware. Another thing is that you have to buy like a USB-C like cable if you have like a Mac or some type of device that doesn't have that type of plug-in in it. You just have to buy it. It's only like maybe less than $100. Another weakness is that it is out of stock. It's because the product is from overseas, and since it is overseas, they only make a couple at a time. We found that right now they are still out of stock, but I think soon in a couple months they will be in stock. I'm just not sure when. So that's just another thing, just waiting for it to come over if you order it.
So the main applications of the Axoloti. So according to its official website, the main application is digital audio processing. Some abilities include live performance, so you can play straight from the patcher. You can also use it for live composition, so like recording from the patcher into your DAW. So it can also be used for sound design. So it has features such as basic modulators, oscillators, filters, envelopes, and LFOs. It can also be used as a mixer and for effects like distortion and EQ. It can also be used for visual design, so like a spectrum analyzer, as you can see in the picture there. It can also be used as a MIDI controller, so you can control like the Euro rack. We're now going to show you a live demonstration of a basic patch that can be controlled with the MIDI keyboard.
Okay, let's plug that in there. Great. Maybe it's... That's great. This just worked earlier. I think it's gonna work. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Okay. So here you have the actual Axoloti patcher, which is connected to the core. You need both to work. One doesn't work without the other. Well, actually, the core can work on other things, but you need the patcher and the core together. Anyways, so we're just going to create like a basic oscillator. So the first thing I'm going to get in here is the oscillator, and I'm going to do a sine wave. And the next thing I'm going to get is the MIDI in, so that Kemon can actually play. Just this one. We're going to move that over. Whoa. We're going to move that over here. Connect that. The next thing we're going to do is audio out and stereo. I'm going to kick those to left and right. And then the last thing is DISP scope 128B trig. And then I should be able to just press live, and it should... Kemon should be able to control it with the keyboard. So that's just a basic oscillator. So you could also use some of the presets that Live has to offer. Oh, I forgot it does that. Ah. What was the lesson? Yeah. We like fixed it last time. I just don't remember how. Well, I'm going to show it anyways. So if you go to factory and demos, there's some presets that Axoloti has to offer. There's synths, there's sampling, drums, even stuff for YouTube. Right now we're just going to go to another synth. It's called the Dreamy. If I press live, there we go. And so that's just a basic live composition of of the Axoloti and things you can do in it. So yeah. There's still more.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, get that.
That was just in case it didn't work, because...
Rolling. Alright, so moving on to the unusual applications. So it can be used for visual elements like controlling LED lights. And it also has the potential to turn unusual objects into MIDI controllers when connected to the Axoloti. For example, someone used bamboo as a MIDI controller. We have a video of that if you guys want to see. Pretty cool.
Oh, hold on. So yeah, you can see here's the patch up right there.
Seems like every time he touches it, it's modulating some type of pitch and frequency.
So yeah, that's just one example.
So I believe he used a potentiometer to do that. I don't know how he did it, but my
Well,
engineering skills aren't that good, so I don't know. So someone also used the Axoloti to control lasers, which is pretty cool. We have a video of that too.
So you can't really hear. There it is. So the lights is also modulating pitch. So as it's modulating, the lights are changing. If you can hear. And they did all of this using the Axoloti.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with the Axoloti as long as you have that programming experience.
Yeah.
It's almost like you should use it as your capstone project or something. Some examples of that, like Nick just told before, with the main applications with live performance, can be used with like guitar, synths, like my buddy over here. That's an example from the website, how he's using the Axoloti to make effects and to just basically do live performances. Live compositions can be done with Ableton Live. Just connect to Ableton Live, we're good. Also sound design, like I said, with the guitar effects, not just with guitars, it can be used with other hardwares, as a MIDI controller and other types of stuff. Visual design can be used for graphics and LEDs like we just showed. Here's some still pictures that we took from it. And then you can also use it, like I said before, as a MIDI controller, as with the rack. So basically there's a lot of possibilities, the different routes you can go with, both visually and, I guess, audioly. So yeah, I think it's just a great capstone project, or great hardware to use for a capstone project.
Okay, so for additional resources, there's not much that we really needed. However, as Kemon said before, if you do have a Mac, it would probably be beneficial to get a USB-C adapter. If you are using this as a capstone project and you have a Mac, it's probably not very convenient to always have to come to the lab or studio to work on the Axoloti if you don't have one. So it would just be nice if maybe Stetson can just get a couple to be rented out so you could use it. Another thing is this book, Getting Started with the Axoloti. It just has basic functions on how to use the Axoloti, how to create synths, sampling, and other weird stuff like that. It would be useful also if Stetson could get their hands on some of this. It is an online book though, but I'm highly sure that Stetson can still just buy a couple and have it there available for purchase or for renting so that students can use it if they are using this for a capstone project. And
a little interesting fact about the Axoloti is that it is named after a walking salamander from Mexico. It's supposed to be pronounced like axolotl because, it has a lotl potential. And it's a small, rare beast that does more than might expect. So that's just where it gets its idea from.
and that's our sources.
Woo!